Hello and welcome back to another Fan in the Stand podcast. Today it's the second episode and I hope you did enjoy the first episode. It was great to have all the feedback that you guys gave me and I'm going to hopefully improve this one and the next and the next. So let's jump straight into this episode. I have a few things I want to discuss today with cricket, football and a couple of other things around those two topics. First, I want to jump straight into something about the podcast in general. I want to do this as a monthly thing, I think, would be a best way to go about this. But if you want weekly, let me know. But at the moment, I think monthly is best because we can keep bashing out articles, 2-3 a week, hopefully, and then do podcasts on the first of every month to summarise a couple of things, such as what we're going to do today. So, what's going on at the moment? 2 big tournaments. Well, one's just finished, one's ongoing. So we've got the Ashes just finished with Australia retaining the Ashes, drawing the series 2-2 after England come back from 2-0 down. Unfortunately, lost day to the rain in the 4th test, which is unfortunate because they looked like they were on track to go and win that and it would have set up a big finale for England to go and win the Ashes potentially. But it's okay, England played really well. So did Australia. Both teams deserve massive credit. And yeah, hopefully next time in Australia there won't be any rain and England can win them back this time. But yeah, we want to talk about the main man. This is going to be the main area of this podcast today. And that man is Stuart Broad. That's all I need to say really, Stuart Broad. If you like cricket, you love Stuart Broad. If you don't know much about cricket, you love Stuart Broad. If you know nothing about cricket, you're going to love Stuart Broad. He is predominantly a bowler for England. Can bat as well, did well on his batting this series to be fair to him. I'm quite new to cricket as well in terms of really focusing and getting into the game, but I've liked it for a little while. Always watched it, but I've really started loving it now. Stuart Broad is probably the player that's made me like cricket, want to play cricket, want to watch cricket, want to talk about cricket, want to write about cricket. Fortunately, he has announced his retirement. He played his last game on the final Ashes test on the weekend. Absolutely incredible way for him to go out. Last ball, in terms of batting, absolutely smashed it for 6. Crowd goes mad, goes absolutely crazy. Last ball bowling, takes a wicket. Bowled by Broad, caught by Bairstow. England win the 5th test to draw the series 2-2. What a way for the main man Stuart Broad to go out. Big fact that most of you probably will know, but he's taken 604 test wickets, which puts him up amongst the very, very best. Jimmy Anderson, he loves Jimmy Anderson, that's his idol. Nice little video England did with him and Anderson walking across the oval, discussing the test, the series as a whole, cricket, him retiring, and how he's going to miss the football and all the changing room moments. Which is going to be sad to see him go, but I'm sure he'll still be involved in some way. But he's once again, as I said, a legend of the game. Only 37. He probably could still playing. Played one of his best series, some of his best bowling I've seen from him. But he said he wanted to retire on a career high, still loving cricket, which is probably the best way to go out. Because if you look over to football, you've got Ronaldo, now in Saudi. Even at United, he's sort of not become irrelevant. I'm not going to say irrelevant, but he's sort of maybe put a little bit of a stain, a little bit of a damper on the end of his career, which thankfully Broad hasn't done. I think the best thing about Broad is the famous headband. He had everyone in the crowd wearing them. Actual ones from sheets they've torn up, made headbands. Love it. Stuart Broad loved it. The least he deserved. The signs. Fortunately, he announced it a day before the final test, so the final day. So there wasn't much time for people to prepare anything, but what happened was special. And big credit to Australia for the guard of honour they gave him. And to Steve Smith, as much as all the English fans slate him, and yes, we know what happened with the sandpaper and the cheating, but credit is due where credit is due, with him and Stuart Broad at the end, shaking hands. Nice little discussion, nice little moment between them two. Big up Steve Smith in that department. But now let's go over to the football. And we've got the Women's World Cup to talk about, the Summer Series to talk about, and the Premier League, of course. So let's start with the Women's World Cup. I've been watching mostly the England games, obviously, because I'm English. I've watched a few of the other games. I'm going to say it right now. I have no idea who's going to win this World Cup. It's wide open right now, with the USA drawing a few games. Australia losing to Nigeria. That was a big, big shock, that one. Sam Kerr is back, though, I think, for the final game. So hopefully she can do a little bit, because she is arguably the best in the world. You've got Sweden looking like they're absolutely smashing it at the moment. They could be in with a shout for winning it. Norway was one that I was looking out for, but haven't really impressed me that much. England obviously haven't impressed that much in terms of their football, but they're bringing results. And as of recording, England kick off in half an hour against China. So hopefully, I think they're already through. Win that, guaranteed to top the group there. Hopefully go on a nice little run. Maybe even win it. We will see. I think Lauren James has been the big addition in that second game for England. Arguably technically better than some men's Premier League footballers. But that is a discussion for another day. And that's probably a very controversial one. But yeah, she come in against Denmark. Played really well. Scored the goal. Beautiful goal. Run the game completely. England did drop off a little bit at the end, but she still played really well. First game, Georgia Stanway, as I've wrote about in one of the articles in the Fan in the Stand.online website. You can go and read all about there. Got Georgia leading the way for England in the World Cup. Go and give that one a read along with all the other articles. But yeah, hopefully England can go win the World Cup. Great performances. Unfortunately, we've got an injury to Walsh. ACL, I read, so that's not the best. She won't be back for this tournament. Hopefully it's not the end of her career, as it has been the case with some other footballers. It really depends. You've got Modder, ACL, no idea when he's going to come back for Brighton. Could retire, don't know. Livramento, he comes straight back, not straight back, he come back for Southampton. He's playing in their pre-season friendlies, looking really good. Potentially with a move to Newcastle would be great for him. But great if he stays at Southampton. Either way, quality player, I'd love him at Brighton. And we are interested, but it doesn't look like that one's going to happen. So, talking of Brighton, talking of the Premier League and the Championship. Premier League mainly at the moment. Championship does start very soon, starts on Friday. There'll be some articles, discussions, anything about that coming up very soon. But Premier League Summer Series in particular, just finished. Congratulations to Chelsea for winning that. Does it really matter who won that? Not really. It was just a pre-season tournament friendlies. Lots of teams giving all their players run-outs. You've got Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle, Villa, Brentford and Fulham. All look quite good in terms of their play. Youngsters played well for every team. You can see who's going to do what this year, potentially. A little bit of a clue there. What positions need strengthening for each team. Obviously, I can mainly talk for Brighton because that's the games I watched. Need Lewis Dunk back from his injury. Definitely need Lewis Dunk back. A midfielder, if Caicedo goes, is desperate. Another big attacker with Undav looking to leave would be nice. Maybe Kudus, potentially. But João Pedro, as you've seen in the articles, been absolutely world-class so far for Brighton. Chelsea look very good as well with Poch, their new players, and Kunku. Keeping Colwell, big for them. Signing the new 6-year contract, unfortunate for Brighton. But big for Chelsea. They look good this year. I think they're going to do quite well this year. Maybe a little bit tweaking here and there from Poch, but they could do big things this season. Fulham, didn't really watch many of their games, but they looked okay. Harry Wilson scoring a good goal. Looks okay. Probably be another mid-table finish for them. Brentford against Brighton I saw. And I can't remember who else I watched them play against, but they look very, very good with their football. But they could not finish for nothing. Nothing could go in for Brentford against Brighton. They scored a few goals in the other games, but without Tony, they look like they're lacking that final little bit, final finish. So that'll be interesting to see if they can bring in another striker for the end of the window, because I think they do need one. Wissa does well, but he's not quite that Ivan Toney figure in the box up front for them. Aston Villa look very good. Diaby looking like a brilliant signing already. Pau Torres, brilliant signing. Tielemans on a free. Oh, wow, what a signing that was. Villa could be doing very well in the Conference League this year, and the Premier League, and the FA Cup, and the Carabao Cup. Who knows? But I see them being very good. Yeah, Newcastle look good. Played their second team against Brighton, looked very good. Second team needs some more depth, I think, for the Champions League. Potentially a couple more signings. They need a right back. As I said, Livramento could be the one for them. Maybe another forward, potentially, with St. Max heading out to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, all the Summer Series teams look like they could be quite good this year. Now, Premier League starts next Friday. The date? Cannot remember. Let's have a look. The Premier League starts on Friday the 11th. Friday the 11th of August. With Burnley against Man City, 8 o'clock kickoff. Man City should be absolutely wiping the floor there with Burnley. But I really want Burnley to do well. I like them now. Didn't like them before with their anti-football, as some people call it. But it works, as you've seen with Dyche now. Everton. But yeah, Burnley under company. A great team. Great football. Great signings so far. Hopefully they do well this year. But yeah, obviously I have a feeling Man City might be too much of a task for their opening game. But yeah, Premier League, big season coming up for a lot of teams. Arsenal, can they redeem themselves after bottling it last year? Tottenham under Postecoglou, could they turn themselves into title contenders? Could they be back in the top 4, back in Champions League? Chelsea, big season under Poch, integrating their players, young players. They need a big performance this year, otherwise the fans could turn on Poch once again, as they did with Potter, Lampard. Liverpool, finishing 5th Europa League, that's probably a blessing in disguise for them. They can now see what they need to do with their squad, bring in some midfielders as they have done. I have a feeling they might do quite well this year. Man City, obviously, normal service resumes for them. Brighton in the Europa League, they need some more depth. Definitely we need some more depth, but hopefully we can see Brighton go far in the Europa League, impress some more teams, bring in some more players. Villa, as I said, in the Conference League with their new signings. Brilliant. Looking forward to watching them. But would you like to see next week a Premier League predictions on the Fan in the Stand podcast? I could do it on my own. I'll try and get one of you guys to come on with me and we can do a little prediction to see who does the best. But let me know. That'd be interesting to do. See how good my ball knowledge is. And if you want me to predict any other leagues, let me know. Championship might be quite difficult as it starts on Friday. But if I get good feedback quickly, I can potentially get one out before then. We will see. But yeah, I think that is everything for this pod. Make sure to go and have a check of the Fantasy Premier League, the Fan in the Stand Fantasy Premier League. The code will be on the screen once again. We've had lots of you joining already, and the giveaway is still, the prize for the winner is still being looked at, and I will hopefully get it out next week. So make sure you join with a chance to win what could be a very, very nice prize for one of you. But yeah, the code on the screen. Go join it. Potentially a prize for the best team name. I want to see great team names. My team name is Lallana Del Rey, but I've seen some great ones like Uptown Dunk, or we've got Backstreet Boys. Love the classic ones like that. Stranger Mings, classic once again. or just a simple name. Doesn't matter, as long as you win the league. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this second episode of the Fan in the Stand podcast. Stuart Broad, world-class player. Summer series, great look at some teams. Premier League starting next week. Who's going to win it? Who's going to go down? You'll find out in my Premier League predictions that I'm most likely going to do next week. So yeah, once again, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all maybe next week for Premier League predictions, or if not, next month for another monthly podcast. Fan in the Stand, another sports podcast. Yes, we know.